Hi there, Reverend Michael McMorrow coming to you from the sanctuary here in the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, California, where it's a lovely, brisk evening by Southern California standards. We had a little bit of rain today because it never rains in Southern California. Yeah. So, love you, baby. Don't ever change. All right, so welcome. We're here to do some meditating, believe it or not. But first, we're going to warm up. We're going to shake loose those Zoom-infested bodies. So we're no longer have to worry about being zombies, but we may be becoming Zoombies. I just thought of that. That's kind of clever. All right, so we're just going to start by warming up the core and just relaxing. Just let the arms flap around. I think this is like a tapping thing too, if I remember right. I'll have to get Elizabeth Schneider, Reverend Elizabeth, in here. She's the tapping person. Yeah, and just feel that unwinding. Can you feel that? Yeah. All right, and then if you have a chair handy, I'll just demonstrate in the chair and then we'll get up from there. And as you can see, I have my sweats on tonight because it's a little nippy in here. All right, so we're just going to take a deep breath and we're going to raise the arm. We're going to breathe on the way up. And you want to protect the shoulder while you're doing it. So you're not like stretching your arm out. You're just holding your arm in and then you're lengthening the side, okay? All right, so taking a breath. Breathe that all the way up. And then maybe turn the head and lengthen the side and exhale. And now the other side, breathing up and lengthening that side and looking up over the right ear and exhale. All right, taking a deep breath. That's it, just work it up, stretch it. Can you feel that? And taking a deep breath between bites. And stretch. We're not holding the breath like I just did, and then just release. Okay? And if you're standing, you're going to... so we just stretch that out. So now I'll do this from the chair. Actually, I forgot. Okay. So we're going to come together, both arms up. And then we're just going to forward fold. Just knees shoulder width apart. And just allow yourself to just kind of drop in there. Just a very gentle stretch in your lower back. And then breathing on the way up. And exhaling. That's it. And so if you're standing, then you'll bend your knees and do the same thing, breathing, looking up, and then forward fold with knees bent. Just exhale. And you'll feel a nice little stretch in there, bending the knees, breathing on the way up. And exhaling. Again, bend the knees. I can't believe I used to be able to put my hands flat on the ground. All right, taking a deep breath. And exhale one more time. Hands down. Knees bent. Okay. To the waist, and now we're going to just Sway again. That's it. All right. Feels good, huh? And then we'll add something a little different if you're able. Just grab the chair and just lift your leg up. Just activate that thigh and the gluteal. There we go. Just getting that blood going in there. All right. Swaying one more time. And then I'm going to turn my microphone off. So if you take your hand and you put it like this, stick your thumb inside your hand like this. You want to close in on this, Mike? So my thumb is tucked in like so. And we're just going to tap on the body. So I got to turn the microphone off. You can do both hands this way. So we're going to get up here in the shoulders, the pectorals, and we're going to tap around the back, down into our gluteals, and into the thighs, the whole bit. So I'm going to turn the microphone off for now so I don't bash you. Okay. So I'm just going to tap. It's just activating everything. Oh, no one can hear me. Yeah, we can't hear you anyway. Nothing here. Just keep going. Down into the tummy. Tarzan. Now to the back. Just realize I'm giving you instruction and there's no microphone on. So now we're tapping into the glutes and the lower back and the thighs. So you should be feeling some circulation in there, and the tummy again. All right, and then the Tarzan. And then tap and tap. So that's a great thing that you can do at any time you're feeling some tension or you want to energize the body. And so Reverend Elizabeth shared that with us years back, and I still use it. So Mike's going to bring up the screen while I take my seat so you don't have to observe my Zen man-spreading. Not a pretty sight. Oh, I'll just grunt along with you, though. How's that? Oh. Let's see, do I have me glasses? All right, Michael. I believe I'm in the correct position. All right. All right, here we go. So we were talking, Michael was telling me that someone had mentioned in the chat that they listened to the meditation during the week when they can't sleep. And so he and I were talking that tonight we'll do a sleep meditation. So instead of doing the treatment part at the end, I will just get it set up so that you can, if you fall asleep, it's okay to do that. And I will just say some affirmations at the end for you to awaken with in the morning. And so if you're watching on a device and you want to set a timer so that it turns off in 50 minutes, that might be something to try. And then see how you sleep tonight. But for now, We're going to start the way we start everything here at our service or at our center, and that's by lighting the flames of faith, which is what we call our call to service. So let's just start by taking a deep conscious breath together. And remember with me that we promote this ceremony, we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. That fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So the first candle we have is lit for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here at our center, within our online community, and within our own hearts. And as we have lit the healing candle, please put silently or speak aloud into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God.
Breathe with me and release. Just feel that sweet surrender into this moment, recognizing and knowing with me that there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life of the divine, both impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as all of life. In, through, and as all that we are. And so as we know that this power, the Alpha, the Omega, is everywhere present, from the farthest reaches of the universe to right within the secret chamber of our own soul, that it is both the transcendent and the immanent. And we are one with it. So from this conscious union with the One, we just allow ourselves to be in this moment. That even as we set our intention for this meditation time this evening, at the same time we detach or unhitch any expectations of how precisely it's supposed to work. That in following the breath, we allow ourselves to be led into this eternal now moment. To allow that which needs to be revealed to come forward. And through the power of awareness and a new thought anchored in divine principle, we allow the healing power of the infinite to have its way within each one of us. So taking a deep breath and just releasing this, and with deep gratitude and confidence, we're just releasing it to law, knowing that it is done. Together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is, Amen. So if this is your first time joining us this evening, welcome. And if it is your first time, we'd love for you to join our community here on YouTube by just hitting subscribe and that little bell that you see. But for right now, I'm going to share with you from the book, The Infinite Way. So some of you I know have been reading along at home. Joel Goldsmith is, I suppose we could call him an American mystic. And so we finished the chapter last week on putting on immortality. So Joel's thoughts and insights around that. And tonight we're going to begin our exploration of spiritual illumination. Illumination, bringing in the light. And Joel writes on page 33, spiritual illumination enables us to discern the spiritual reality where the human concept appears to be. Spiritual sense discerns the reality of that which is appearing as concept. The development of spiritual consciousness begins with our first realization that what we are beholding through the senses of sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell is not the reality of things. Disregarding appearances entirely, the first ray of spiritual illumination brings us hints of the divine, the eternal, and immortal. This in turn makes the appearance even less real to us, thereby admitting even greater illumination. Now I think you can see how this is kind of a self-evident truth if you just take it from the psychological, which Joel is not doing. But there is a reality beyond our by the information that we pick up from our five senses, right? That there's a reality beyond that. Our progress spiritward is in proportion to the illumination which enables us to behold more and more reality. So So the more that we open up to the metaphysical truth of life, that truth that lies beyond the five sensory realm, because the human scene is entirely a misconception through misperception. Any thought of helping, healing, correcting, or changing the material picture must be relinquished in order that we may see the ever-present reality. So all of these things that would seem to be intrinsically good, helping, healing, correcting, or changing, right? What he's saying here is that they're distractions from a deeper spiritual truth or reality. Spiritual illumination comes to us in a measure with our first investigation of truth. We believe we are seeking good or truth, whereas the light has begun to shine in our consciousness, compelling us to take the steps we have since taken. Every increase of our spiritual understanding was more light appearing and dispelling the darkness of sense. This inflow of illumination will continue until we come to the full realization of our true identity as the light of the world. That should sound familiar. There was a guy who spoke to that a couple thousand years ago. Without illumination, we struggle with the forces of the world. We labor for a living. We struggle to maintain our place and position. We compete for riches or honors. Often we war with our own friends and even find ourselves at war with ourselves. There is no security in personal possessions, even after the battle to acquire them has been won. Illumination first brings peace, then confidence and assurance. It brings rest from the world's contests, and then all good flows to us through grace. We see now that we do not live by acquiring, gaining, or achieving. We live by grace. We possess all as the gift of God. We do not get our good because we already have all good. Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. So why don't we stop there? Of course, that comes from one of my favorite parables, the prodigal son. When I think, if I recall the story right, that is what the master said to the other son. Right? So the son who stuck around while the other fellow went out gallivanting. Yes, I would fall under the latter, I would say. All right, so spiritual illumination. I wonder if we can do that while sleeping. What do you think, Mike? All right, so let's try. We're going to do a sleep meditation. So let's start by just taking a deep breath and release. And if you're not interested in sleeping, but instead in meditation, and this is your first time exploring this is a style of Vipassana, a Western McMorrow derivative. So there are other places you can go to get a true Vipassana teaching. What we're going to do is just simply pay attention to the movement of the breath in the nostril. And tonight is an interesting exploration of that, because if your room is like mine, it may have a little chill in it. So you can pay attention to the cold air as it moves in, and then the warmth of the breath as it exhales, as you exhale. And pay particular attention to the exhale. And then you'll see the mind will still. And then pay attention to the movement. When you get there, see if you can detect the movement of the breath on your upper lip. And then we'll do a body scan. And then I'll guide you in a deep relaxation, so that if you choose to fall asleep, you can. Or you can continue to stay with the meditation. So again, taking a deep conscious breath and releasing. And just feel the release of the breath. And bringing our attention to the movement of the breath in the nostril. As Michael brings up our Om and Bros. Staying with the breath. Following the breath. The tummy rises and falls naturally and easily. We'll do a little scan. So as we scan through the body, if you feel any tension, then the instruction is just simply take a deep breath and then exhale. And on the exhale, you, believe it or not, you will feel the tension in your body unwind in that place. So again, following the breath. Release any tension in the face. See if on the exhale you can actually drop your cheek muscles on the exhale. Starting with the feet, working up the legs, into the knees. Sometimes we store tension in the knees in the way of twerking, so just release the knee, taking a deep breath. Up into the thigh, the hamstrings, following the breath, into the gluteal, Bringing our attention to the sit bones. Then the spine, balance on the sit bones. The head balanced over the spine. And if you're sitting and you feel tension in your lower back, you can tuck your tailbone in underneath there, and that will release that. Following the breath. Releasing the face muscles. Releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. See if you can detect a sensation between the eyebrows. Tingling. Or the crown of the head. Taking a deep breath and releasing. So if you're lying flat, follow the breath, and on each exhale, you feel your body getting heavier and heavier, falling into the mattress, but feeling the support and the coziness. Of the warmth. And feel the safety. In the surrender. And taking a deep breath and releasing. And in that release, we're just falling deeper. Staying with the breath. Taking a deep breath again. And release. And now we'll just move into the silence now for about 15 minutes. attention gently back into the room, staying with the breath. Imagining with me that in the heart center is the flame of the divine resides. So with each in-breath, we are breathing in the light of the Spirit, commingling with the indwelling light, fortifying the body, the mind, and releasing anything that's no longer needed. Waste products of the body exhaled. The byproducts of errant thinking exhaled. So breathing easily and naturally, we fan the flame. Imagining in our heart center now a ball of light, of illumination. That light of divine reality residing within the heart of all beings. And with each breath, this light expands so that we've created a ball of light now, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. A globe of light and love as we continue to breathe in light and exhale love. We feel our whole body temple now in this field of light and love. Breathing in light, exhaling love. So to this field of light and love, then we bring the cares and concerns of the day without attaching. With each breath, we're just releasing them into this field. And our requirements for the day and maybe even the week ahead without attaching. Taking a deep breath and releasing that. Staying with the breath. And so now lying down for those lying in a prone position. Each breath is a release. Exhale, release. Drifting deeper and deeper. Surrendering to sleep. In the safe womb of consciousness of the divine. Releasing. Releasing. Release. So we know we're releasing to that aspect of the mind of the divine itself, expressing as perfect love. A love so unconditional it knows only to say yes. So we just release to this perfect yes. Surrender with a deep sense of peace and harmony. That we drift off easily to sleep, sleeping deeply, restfully. That we awaken in the morning feeling completely rested, with a sense of vim and vigor and zest for life. As we move through the day with an awareness that we are the avenue by which the living spirit expresses itself into the world. So we drift up now into a deep sleep, dreaming sweet dreams. Taking one more deep breath, we release, we let it go, and so it is. Amen. And so for those of us who are not asleep, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell and you'll receive a notification whenever we're live here on YouTube. If you'd like to make a donation, there's a little PayPal icon on the page, or you can make your way to the website. So we do have services on 10:30 on Sunday morning with music with Ken Francis. And our mistress of ceremonies, our presider, Reverend Nancy Woods, our assistant minister, and myself, sharing with you online an experience of the divine and a few deep thoughts and bad jokes. So taking one more deep breath. Release. Know that you are loved. Go in peace. We'll see you on Sunday.